Good morning, everyone. It's about 5:50 and it's very crispy outside, and the moon is nice and bright. I'm gonna get going to the place where I am going to stay for the next 24 hours. I'm excited. It's nice to walk out in some crisp morning air. Hopefully the night will be the same. Here it's about 6 degrees and it's probably gonna be colder out in the woods. Let's go. You must be out of your damn mind if you thought I wouldn't treat myself to a cup of coffee. Oh, that's good. Let's get out there. Couldn't really be better, could it? Okay, maybe you won't believe this, but it's true. I forgot my poncho at home where I got dressed, so that's on the floor at home, about an hour and a half's drive away. I'm not gonna get it. It's gonna fuck up my timeline. It's just gonna take too much time and ruin this challenge. So I'm just gonna have to build a shelter. I'm in a spruce and birch forest mostly, so hopefully there's a lot of materials also at the campsite that I am going to stay at, because this is a public forest. I opted for this instead of a private forest because there's a lot more space, seems a bit more scenic, and I realized there's a lot more material here. So that's what I'm gonna do. But I did honestly forget it, but I'm gonna start looking for material now. The sun is just coming up and it's pretty clear, so I have a lot of time before I gotta get my shelter going, I guess. So I'm gonna look for materials. I'm gonna look for dry grass. I'm gonna look for root systems from trees that are knocked over. I'm gonna look for bark. I'm gonna look for dead standing trees. I'm gonna look for flint rocks that I can make tools out of. And of course I'm gonna be looking for horny milfs in my area because I know they are here. Okay, but that's the plan. And also the whole bushcraft leave no trace thing is what I'm going to be practicing here, as I always do. I don't cut any live or green trees. I think there's a lot more to learn when you have to find dead, usable and strong materials. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm going to stock up on some of this in between my layers of clothing just to see if I can dry it out. It is a bit moist and it's not really been exposed to a lot of wind, but I think it might work. I have it in here and I'll spread it out all across my body, so hopefully it will dry in a couple of hours and I can put it in a high and dry place, make a bird's nest later, get an ember from a friction fire, put the ember in here. But that's much later today, but I'm gonna start drying out some material already. I was in luck. There's this pile of rocks. Smaller pile there, a pile over here. Now that's flint, and that's a relief. But I'm gonna pick a few of these up. I'm gonna get to the campsite where I'm staying at also, so I kind of reserve the campsite. I'm here early, so hopefully no one is there. But I'm gonna pick these flint rocks up. I'm gonna try to make some primitive tools and maybe a small saw. Yeah, off to a good start. This will be good for now. Let's go to the campsite. Always a small part of me that's blown away on these kinds of mornings. Damn, especially in the fall. It's beautiful. It's just very special. Okay. This is where I'll be staying, at this campsite, at this campfire. So there are 2 benches here. I'm gonna move those. Then I have a space for my shelter. And I'm going to have to start building that. So yeah, let's not waste any time. Let's get our shelter established so we can concentrate on fire later. So let me show you what I got so far. I used the 2 benches on this spot here to kind of create a base. So these two load-bearing sticks are held in place by the two benches, and that's my foundation. A couple of wire branches here, just so they don't slip as much. Wire branch there. And now the idea is to get some more wire branches here to support when a lot of weight is going to be on the roof of the shelter. And then I'll line this with a lot of leaves, a lot of ferns, everything I can find on the ground. There is a lot of leaves, so that's good. And then hopefully I'll get a fire, so the radiation from the fire will keep me warm. But yeah, that's the base. If some of you think I'm cheating by using the benches that already were here, it's fine. You can call it cheating. You can just use logs instead. But I'm just going to make it a bit easier on myself and use the materials already and available. So let's continue. Now, as you can see, this is obviously not enough, but the ferns do give it some structure. And that structure I'm going to lay all my leaves on. All of these glorious leaves. It's actually pretty sturdy. I'm pretty pleased with that. Now I'm going to use my rain jacket to carry as many leaves as I can at a time, and it's going to take a lot of leaves. So remember how it looks now, because it's going to be thick when I'm done. I'm not finished with the shelter yet, but I had to take a break. I know that I am very bad at pacing myself, and I'm also sweating quite a bit. If I sweat too much, I drink too much, and I don't have a lot to drink. And I don't want headaches throughout the night, so I gotta pace myself. Unfortunately, no horny MILFs yet. But they will come in multiple ways, I guess. Got about 40, almost half a meter of debris on top of me, and it's holding pretty firm. So that's pretty good. Now I just need some leaves to sleep on, thick layer as well. Some branches on top of the leaves on the roof, so if it does get windy, it doesn't all just blow off. And also the reason that I made it a lean-to shelter facing this way is of course that I am pretty much counting on to get a fire. And let's see if this hubris pays off, but that's why I made a lean-to with an open space. This might look insane, but it actually isn't. Maybe it's actually too little. It's gonna squish out a bit in the night, and it's gonna be very compressed. So I might just need to get some more, but for now it's decent. So I'm going to put some sticks up on the roof, and then I'm going to clear my camp space. And then I'm going to look for materials and firewood. So, shelter done for now. Let's see if we can find some roots for cordage and hopefully some willow tree or spruce tree for our fire. Found this standing up on that tree, and it's been raised above the ground. It's pretty dry. I guess it's all the way dry inside, and this piece is perfect for a spindle and maybe even a board. So I'm gonna take this back to camp, that's for sure. Could not find any hot leaf willow, but I think this might work, and there's enough of it so I can fuck up a bunch of times, but I'm gonna have a look around just a bit more. Right now I'm gonna take the material home, and I'm gonna slowly start to work on my spindle and board drill set. I am back at the rock pile because I need to find something that will go on top of the spindle. The hand support for the spindle that I will be holding in my hand, so when I turn it, it has less friction. Can't remember what it's called, but I have to find a stone with a divot or a hole in it so I can press that down on the spindle to create friction. And hopefully I can find it here, or else I'm gonna have a hard or a bad time. So I found these, and these are some lovely candidates. Not really perfect fitting divots or holes, but they do have a lot of divots and holes, and that might just be one of these that really work. I'm thinking either this with a large divot in it, or this with this large divot in it. These are pretty good candidates. So these are coming back to camp with me. Back here at camp, I'm gonna try to smash up some of this flint to see if I can get something I can cut my spindle and hearthboard with. Gotta be careful with this. So of course, I'm gonna have my safety glasses of the 2 spoons. I'm gonna put my cap down and I'm gonna close my eyes. That's the best I got right now. I don't recommend this, but I knew I saw a big rock over here that we can use to crack some pieces from this bad boy. A lot of jagged pieces, not bad. I am just gonna pick up all the pieces that I see, whether I can use them or not, just to throw them in a place where dogs or walkers won't come upon them. There's a lot of good pieces here. Let's try making a friction fire set. Fucking hell, what a moment. That was good. That was really nice. Oh, that felt good. I'm gonna try and see if I can get an ember. Just an ember. I'm not trying to light anything yet. I have to find a lot more materials before I do. But this is a very exciting process, and I didn't cut myself, and it went pretty well. Took about, the whole process here maybe took about 35-40 minutes, so it's not that bad. Let's see if the components work together. I'll just need a bit of a divot here, so my spindle has something to catch on. The hard thing is, if the material isn't dry enough, then I won't be able to ignite the dust, the coal I want to produce. Let's just try it out, see how it is. Still have a lot of daylight left. I'll have to try some different methods if this doesn't work. Okay, beginning to take form. I'll see if I can, burn the board, kind of get it to charcoal a bit and get some dust, and then I'll stop. Then I'll gather some materials. I know myself, I won't be able to stop myself, so I'm gonna gather materials now in case I do get a coal, in case I do get a fire. If I get it now, that's just great. Okay, that's a good sign. It's still smoking a bit. Still smoking. We got it. We got it. That was insane. I'm gonna find some big pieces of wood I can just use and put on top just to keep a long fire or a star fire going all night. So I maybe have a couple of hours of sleep before I need to ignite the fire again. Now comes another important thing when you have a campsite. Making it your own. That's a big part of it, I think. You know, normally I would be maintaining gear, organizing, prepping meals, but I don't have that this time. So I'm gonna clear the area of debris that can catch fire. I'm gonna get settled. I'm gonna get the flint away from the fire, and I'm gonna let you in a little surprise that I found. Oh, I think I'm decently settled in. Whew, that was quite the ride. I don't even know what time it is. 4:30. Okay, not bad. I've been here since 7:30. Okay, I'm pretty much settled in. Shelter, sleeping arrangement, fire, organized, cleared around my campfire. I've gathered materials if I need to relight my fire with coals. So that was pretty much the jobs for today. Right behind that tree line were some nice young kids doing a bit of camping and a bit of drinking, as is the custom in Denmark. You know, just young people enjoying nature. Wholesome stuff. They asked me a few questions about my shelter and about my bowdrill, but they also were nice enough to give me one of these. They heard me exclaim when I got the fire, so they came over, and I asked if I could have a beer, and I absolutely could. I'm gonna enjoy this. I had a nap, tried laying on my back. It's a bit cold, and I padded it with some more leaves where I specifically lay. I opened up the fire pit a bit, so the stones in front of it doesn't, suck all the heat and radiation of it. And I moved it a bit closer, so when I do get cold in the chest or back area, I can just turn my chest or my back to the fire and it will heat me up. There's a lot of heat coming off this just tiny fire, so I think it's going to be a decent night. Good fire making process. Damn, that was good. Try not to be on my main phone when I'm out. I think it's pretty important to try to condition yourself to leave it alone as much as you can when you're out. Being alone with your own mind is just as much a skill as the knife skills or the fire skills or the tarp skills or the shelter building skills. And that's probably a challenge for most people. It is for me. I've been alone for a period of time and that wasn't easy. There's a lot of stuff you have to work on when you're alone. You don't have the same ways of centering yourself or modifying your moods. You don't have the inputs that you may use to balance yourself in day-to-day life. And that's pretty interesting to see because all of your tiny little, personality fractures comes through. Like today with the fire. Failing a couple of times, having to reset, takes a long time. And you start thinking about alternatives. Well, maybe I meet someone on the trail who has a lighter. Maybe those kids who were in the shelter next to me, maybe they had a lighter. And those are the thoughts you gotta squash. It's a difficult thing I'm facing here. Okay, what can I do to actually make it happen? And it wasn't a given that the fire process for me was gonna happen today, but I took a breather, I took a break, paced myself and tried to rework what was going wrong. My divot, my V shape that my coal was supposed to form in, it wasn't close enough to the center to get enough heat and to spill enough dust into. And that I reworked that with my second attempt and second divot. All this impatience and wanting to succeed and taking shortcuts, we all have these thoughts less in day-to-day life because well, making fire or making shelter is not really something that you are faced with. There's always an escape in day-to-day life, you know. Can't get fire? Well, matches, lighter, sleep in a bed. You don't have to worry about all this. Things get tough. Talk to someone. You have a car, you have electricity, you have solutions. And often you have a partner or a family you can turn to, so there's always an escape. You know, setting goals for yourself in nature and trying to make them happen. You really come face to face with some challenging aspects on how you handle challenge. And what I've learned is experience helps. Not only experience in fire making or shelter making or anything outdoors related, but experience in how you handle these situations, trying to figure out the pattern in which you deal with difficult situations, and maybe if you had enough experience, you have the, you know, the clarity and the and the energy in that moment just to catch yourself and try to calm down and rework things. And that's not a given that it may work then, but you know, trying to catch yourself and regulating your behavior in difficult situations, that's something I've learned about myself. And that's something I am more aware of when I'm outdoors, because the challenges are much more clear than the day-to-day life. Then the next thing is to try to take it into the day-to-day life. Thankfully, life is about repetitions and experience and trying to apply the experiences to new things. But get out there, suck at something, learn how you react to sucking at it. That's damn important. I can feel the lack of water though. Even though I've tried to pace myself and taken a nap and taken some breathers between the jobs, it's like a, you know, little bit of a creeping, ever-present headache just in the back here. And I have a bit above a half liter of water left. 20 minutes to 5. So it's gonna get dark in about an hour. This has been a lovely day. It's hot. It's really hot here, but it's gotta be hot, I guess. It's really hot. I'm actually sweating just a tiny bit sitting here in between my shelter and the fire. It's a good thing. I think it's gonna be a pleasant night. Hopefully I get some few hours of sleep in between tending to the fire. So, finally got some shut-eye. Nice and cozy by the fire. Some kind of bird. Wee, wee, wee. Just, I don't know, maybe 50 meters that way up in the trees. Just started going off and I woke up straight away. Yeah. Other than that, it's nice and warm. It looks like this now. And, yeah. Feel kind of vulnerable. Open lean-to, no sleeping bag. Feels like nowhere to hide, you know? Big public forest. It's a feeling that you just gotta get over, I guess. It's decent. I'm gonna get some more shut-eye. Now the fire's really roaring. Good night. Not getting much sleep at all. Drifting in and out between dreams. The animals come in. The foxes just had a screaming match across the forest. I know the sounds of foxes now, so those baby shrieks, they don't really rattle me too much, but it does really make it tough to get some shut-eye. But I'm gonna give it another go. It's about 4:30 in the morning, a couple of hours till the sun comes up, so might as well try sleep some more. Bye-bye. Good morning. I'm not gonna pretend to roll over and yawn and all that. I've been up for a couple of hours, but considering what I've been sleeping on, it was a decent night. I didn't freeze, and when I did, I just turned over and faced the fire. But I was never really, cold, so I didn't have to get up and move. I think I got about 3 hours of broken up sleep. Really wasn't easy, sleeping, advertising your whereabouts with a fire and in an open lean-to in a public forest like this on a public, pretty busy spot. The mental game was a bit of a distraction, but hey, it is a challenge, and it certainly was challenging. So is the possibility that your mind plays tricks on you. I kind of knew the sounds of the forests, and the only thing that was that annoying bird, about 1 or 2 I think, and then the foxes at about 4:30. If you accidentally think about what if some bad dudes find you, and not those horny milfs we talked about, your mind plays tricks on you. So that was a lot of self-control involved, just reining it in. But yeah, that's a good exercise. That's good practice. I enjoy it, but it's a different kind of enjoyment. It's not really camping and good food and friends and a couple of drinks, and having your gear with you and having a good time. Really is a challenge, and it's a different kind of enjoyment because you have to practice different skills, like sort of the mental things and obviously the practical things. Very nice trip. Not sponsored in this particular video, but I gotta give a shout out to Bearskin because the hoodie really retained the heat well when I flipped from one side of the fire to the other. And being able to do this really helped because damn, there's a lot of stink bugs flying around, and you can just hear them. And they landed on my face a couple of times, and spiders a couple of times on my face, crawling on my hands. So being able to zip up, that was nice. So shout out Baskin, that was a good trip. I accomplished more than I set out to do from home. I made a shelter instead of a poncho, and I actually got a bowdrill friction fire from material I just found. And that's the takeaway from all this. I can't stress enough how important I think it is to get all these different materials in your hands and playing with the density and the layers and the wetness and dryness of like a bird's nest or spruce wood I used for my board and drill. Just experiencing materials, man. That's the ticket. Yeah, I'm gonna clean up. I'm gonna leave the firewood for the next people on this camping spot, and I'm gonna break this down, distribute the ferns and leaves, put the benches back, and then I am out. And the last thing, I accidentally placed my gloves too close to my tinder pile over here. And accidentally, in the darkness, I just threw them on the fire with the tinder bundle, and I woke up smelling, oh shit, am I burning? But it was these. Yeah. Well, you win some, you lose some. The sun's about to come up for real, and I'm gonna head home. Let's break this sucker down. Okay, so a pile of wood over there. It's hard to think. Okay, so a pile of wood over there. Brain isn't working. And I scattered the leaves so it doesn't look so suspicious. I'm gonna use the last of my water and my pee to put out the remaining embers there. You can bet your behinds I'm keeping this set. It's only the second time in my life I've gotten a fire from using no tools except flint, well, and a shoelace, and the materials I found. I must say, I'm bloody chuffed about it. Thank you for watching if you stick with it this long. I'm gonna go home now. I'm very thirsty. I have a bit of a headache. My body is a bit beaten up. But that was fun. I'll see you in the next one and see you in the comments.